Hello, it's Frank Deardorff, that one web guy, and I'm back with another video. In this video, I want to show you how to check your stats for your website, even if you don't have Google Analytics installed. So, first, I'm going to visit the control panel for my website. I'm running some promotions for this site. I just got a link back from another service or something like that. I'm just kind of curious how the stats are. So what I would first do, of course, would come up and type in, if your web host is using cpanel, which a lot of them do, you can come up and type in cpanel into your website, and it will go ahead and log you in. Of course, you'd have to have your username and password provided by your web host. You can see that we have our control panel that we have for the site. I'm going to scroll down to where our metrics are. It's this metrics section here, and I'm going to click on AW Stats. Now you'll see that you'll have both SSL and non-SSL. They do it that way. I'm going to look at the SSL because that's how I have most of my traffic coming. You could also go back and check the non-SSL. You'll probably have traffic that way because there are certain, you can see I have like 45 hits that way. Not generating a whole lot of traffic, but on the SSL version, you can see that I have, for February, I have 16,075 or 1,675 visitors for this website. So I'll be doing some more marketing on this website. But you can see that, for our month, and of course this is a shorter month than last, this connection that I had just started. So, I want to see what my numbers are before, and then I'm going to check it as we progress. And as I said, I'm going to start running some ads, and I got some updates I want to make to this site as well. But I can see the number of visits, day by day. It says number of visits, page hits, and bandwidth. The bandwidth is all the items that load in, as that's being used from the site. Now, I want to clarify something here as we're looking at this, as we're looking at the stats. Of course, we have the number of visits. Like on this one here, I had 142 visits for the day on February 9th. It had 365 page views for that day. So they looked at multiple pages. But we see this number here, then this confuses a lot of people. It says 417 hits. Well, a hit is actually every component of that web page that has to load. So if you have a page with 5 images, that takes 6 hits. If it may have some JavaScripts that load, includes and things like that. So those are included as hits as well. So it just adds that to the total of number of hits. And of course, down here at the bottom, we can see our average was 116. I did have a few days here on that was a 309. Here on 205, so we had some good days there, and we had a total of 3,373 for the month. I can also look to see what was the best day of the month. Now, what information is that good for? Is that, okay, this seems to be days that I'm getting a lot of traffic, so maybe those are the days that I want to promote. It seems like most of the people that visit this site visit on Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. So if I'm running a promotion, and it's just a daily promotion, or I have an auto email scenario set up. So if they come to the site, as you can see here, if they come to the site, they can sign up for 7 tips, and then they go through and follow that up. So if I want to follow up, maybe they've been there for the 7 days and they've not taken an offer yet, I can promote on any one of these days, Monday, Tuesday, or Friday, and know that I have a better chance of reaching them because that's when they visited the site before. So it's a good idea to look at those numbers. I can see what hours and things like that. I can tell if there are more morning people. Well, it seems like most of these people had visited the site early in the morning. So maybe they're just getting on as their day's going. So what that tells me is if I'm going to send out an email promotion, I want to send it out early because that's when they're the most active. So that's good to know that information. I can see where they're from, United States, Canada, Great Britain, and then we get into some various countries like Turkey, France, Indonesia, and stuff like that. I can see the top IP addresses that are hitting my site. If it's usually coming from one site, that could be search engines, that could be from somebody trying to attack the site, which happens occasionally, and that's why we have security software on our server. I can see the robots and the spiders. I can see that the Google bot's been there. I can see MSN has been there. Bing bot, SEMrush bot has been there. Yandex, Ahrefs bot has been there. So those are all good bots that you want to see there. We have different page types. I can see the top page URLs. Of course, my login PHP, that's telling me that somebody is probably trying to access the site that should not be, and don't have to worry about that if you have the right things in place. We have, I have a light box. When they click on a book sample, it pops up. I can see that people are looking at book details, business book cover designs, and things like that. I can see where people are visiting my site. So I can also see, and this is ironic, that Linux is one of the top operating systems. That tells me that somebody is really trying to bang on my site. Luckily, as I said, I have security in place. If you're curious about security, just drop me a message and I'll add a video for that as well. Firefox tends to be the top browser, but I also know that most of your Linux computers or operating systems will run from Firefox. Most people, it looks like, are visiting from Google Chrome, Opera, which is one of my personal favorites. We also have Mozilla and Safari and things like that. I can also see connect to site from, so people are doing searches for the site. Most of them are coming from search engines. Some of them are coming from other places that are linked to my site, which is always good to see. And then I could just kind of go through and see other things like that as well. We have some other things on the site, like I can break it down into hosts. I can look at referring search engines, and I can see that Google.com was one of the biggest ones. That's just going to take me to Google. I can see operating systems, which you've seen, browsers, and things like that. So if you don't have Google Analytics set up, maybe you don't want to, maybe you don't have a Google Analytics account, and you were curious what it is, go ahead and check to see if you have cpanel listed in your hosting, and you can get a good idea, as you can see from our summary here, of that information. Another video you might want to check out that I already have in my channel here is one that's called How to Update Your History Automatically. A lot of times, depending on how your server's set up and who you're hosting with, the stats may not update until once a week, or some of them will be 48 hours behind. So if you're curious how things are for this very day, there's an option to have it update now, and that actually is something that has to be turned on. And I do have a video for that in my channel here. So go ahead and check that out. But if you like this video, go ahead and click this like button, and then click subscribe so that you can see more videos like this in the future. Thanks for visiting, and I'll be back soon.